Hey guys, so today we're looking at three different AI tools. The first is called Kilo Code, which it's basically like Klein or Root code. So you install it as a VS Code extension. And yeah, it's similar to what you see in Cursor, except this time we don't need to install a whole different IDE. And yeah, the thing that makes Kilo Code special is it has different modes here. So it has orchestrator mode, which breaks a complex project into delegated subtasks. So I guess this is how you'd plan out what you're going to do for your project. And then it has architect mode, which designs solutions for your project. So this is what you do before you even start asking it to code. I guess this is where it would pick like the different stacks it's going to use and stuff. And then it has a code mode where it actually writes the code for you. And then a debug mode where it fixes code that you already have that's not working correctly. And yeah, then they have some features here. Obviously, they've just given themselves the tick for all of them, so I'm not really going to go through that. Combines the best, so they have a bunch of MCP servers here. And this is really cool because they have a MCP marketplace built in, similar to Klein. And if you guys remember from my Cursor video, we tried to install a MCP server that did images, and we had like 2 hours of troubleshooting, and in the end we actually just gave up. So hopefully this one is a bit better and we find a MCP server for images here. Okay, so for pricing, this is actually open source, so it's free. But obviously the tool itself is free. For the models inside of it, you need to pay for the models. And they say the pricing exactly matches the rates of the providers. So for example, if you want to use OpenAI's ChatGPT model, they're going to charge you the exact token price that OpenAI charges. So they don't take any commissions or anything like that. And you also get $20 of free credits when you get started. So yeah, I'm just going to go through the site now. And yeah, to sign in, you just click sign in here at the top and they'll give you the link to download it. So okay, the link is right here, open in VS Code, and that's going to open this up. Now they give you a quick tutorial here, but we've seen a bunch of stuff like this already, so I'm just going to close that. And I'm just going to say already signed up, log in here. And yeah, it looks like we're signed up. So okay, let's try out one of these models. I'm going to pick Gemini 2.5 Pro because that's my favorite model. And I'm just going to open up a different folder here because I had a project opened already in VS Code. Okay, so I now have a small test folder opened here. And I'm going to head into Kilo Code and I'm going to choose Gemini 2.5 Pro just because that's my favorite model. And I'm going to ask it what we usually do in these AI tests, which is to build a page for a new Pokemon game. And I'm going to tell it to use some images. So I'm firstly going to install an image MCP server. And yeah, I'm going to tell it to use React by default because at this point it's obvious that an AI tool can just build in normal HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I want to see it work with a more complex project. So let's head into the MCP servers here and look for one for images. Okay, so I found the MCP server marketplace. It's not actually in the MCP servers up here. You need to go into settings and then click on the MCP servers tab to find the marketplace. But yeah, once you're in here, I didn't see any images MCP server, so I didn't get that. We'll just go ahead and create a normal Pokemon page with no images on it, I guess. And yeah, it is kind of a new tool, so it's okay that they don't have any MCP servers for that. Okay, so let's head back into Kilo Code here. I'm going to open up my folder again. And I'm going to click this plus button here to get back to the place where we give a prompt. And I'm going to say, okay, so I've given it the prompt here, create a page for a new Pokemon game using React and Vite. I want the page to look exciting and have good SEO. So I think we're going to start off with the tools in order here. So we're going to use architect and then code. We could start out with the orchestrator here, but I'm just going to skip ahead and use architect. And yeah, the interface is similar to what I saw in Klein. So it has the tasks up here and it tracks how many tokens you've used so far and the context as well. And then it just has a price over here for how much of the model have you used so far. So we've used about 2 cents so far. Okay, so it asks some questions as you're going through. So what is the primary goal of this landing page? To get users to sign up via a newsletter to encourage users to pre-order the game. Okay, I'm going to select to build excitement and hype for the game's release. Actually, let's select all of the above. Okay, so it's given us this mermaid diagram for the app, the header, the hero, the features, all of the stuff. And I'm not really going to look at it, I'm just going to say it looks good. Let's use Tailwind CSS for styling. Now I'm actually interested to see how it uses Tailwind CSS, because there's actually a new version of Tailwind CSS that works differently to what we've seen before. And when I asked ChatGPT for help with that new version, it actually wasn't able to help me, and it was keep on giving me information about the older version. Okay, and a nice feature we have here is proceed while waiting. So basically, while this is waiting for npm to install all the packages, it can already start planning out the next steps or coding. And yeah, notice here at the bottom it switched from architect to code on its own, so that's really nice. And I'll be back once the project is set up. Okay, so now that everything's set up, it's starting to write the code for us. When it's making edits to the files, it doesn't ask me for permission, but I'm guessing it's fine for now. I can always change that in the settings probably. But for this project, I don't really care if it makes the edits without my approval. When I'm actually working on an actual project though, I do want it to ask me to confirm before it edits any files. And yeah, it looks like we have some errors in this file, but maybe it's just importing stuff that it hasn't created yet. So I'm going to wait for it to finish and then check on that. Okay, so it kind of works, but like all of the CSS is missing, so I'm guessing it's having some problem with Tailwind. I'm going to close this again and see if it picks up the error. Okay, so it can actually use a browser in here and make sure that the page looks the way it's supposed to look. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen this feature in any of the other tools we've used so far. Okay, so after loading for a while, I think the problem here is it's trying to access that URL, but obviously we've closed it here in the terminal so that we can get back to the code here. Okay, so maybe let me open up the project in a different terminal and actually start it, so that when it makes a request to that page, we can actually have it see what's on the page. Okay, yeah, the CSS is still broken. So let me close this and open up a new terminal, and then I'll start the project from there and see if it can pick it up here. Okay, and I'm going to switch into debug mode here. Okay, so I've said there's a problem with the Tailwind CSS, can you view the page and fix it? And yeah, I was expecting this problem with Tailwind. The issue here is there's a new version of Tailwind, and there's a lot of documentation for the older version of Tailwind, which has files and stuff that are not used anymore. Okay, so it just wanted to run npm run dev here, which obviously we're going to get the same problem where it wants to run, and then we have to kill it here before it can continue. So it's not going to be able to view that page. So I've just said it's already running in a separate terminal, and let's send this through. Okay, so now it's asking me to provide the URL for the official Tailwind CSS and Vite installation guide. So this is pretty cool. It acknowledges that it can't fix the problem itself, and it's asking me to provide the page where the documentation for Tailwind is. So I'm just going to go get that and paste that in quickly. Okay, so I did stop it right there. One thing that I noticed here is that I told it the correct way to use Tailwind, and I gave it the documentation that it needs, which it basically just needs to install Tailwind CSS and not all of these other stuff. And even after telling it that it doesn't need to do all of this, it just needs to do what's on the documentation page and nothing else, it still tries to do this. So I'm going to docker a few points there. But as I said before, Tailwind is hard to install because of the conflicting information that's out there. The older versions of Tailwind do need all of the stuff, but the newer version doesn't, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt there. And yeah, this is a pretty cool tool. I'm going to dock it down to maybe 8 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10 now. And yeah, it is still better than any of the other tools I've used so far because it asks me for documentation and all of that stuff. And yeah, let's go check out one of the other AI tools. Okay, so before we get into the next tool, I did record this video like a few days ago, and while I was recording it, the Copilot vision here wasn't out yet for me. So while we're reviewing the next tool, I'm going to speak about it not being available, but it actually is right now, and we're going to review it after we review the web version. So yeah, let's get into the next tool. So Microsoft just released Copilot Vision on Microsoft Edge. I know on the page here I'm looking at the on Windows version, but that's only been released in the US for now. So what is Microsoft Copilot Vision? So it allows the Copilot AI, which is right here, to actually see what's on your page and speak to you in real time about what's happening here. And it also has the cool feature of being able to highlight what you're looking for. So for example, I'm going to play a short snippet from this video here.
Here.
Hey Copilot, check out this short story I've been working on. Which of these images works best for a book cover for this story?
Got it. An image that echoes a city in ruins could work as a story cover. The top right.
So as you can see, it can actually see what's on your screen, and you can speak directly to the AI about the stuff you're seeing right here. So I'm going to give this a quick test. Remember, right now we only have the version that works inside of Microsoft Edge and not the version that they're describing here, which works in all of Windows. So I'm going to open up this asset store page here, which shows me 3 listings. And to start up Copilot, I'm just going to hit this Copilot button up here and select this mic button here.
Hey Theo, I'm Copilot and welcome to Vision. It's like having a buddy right here with you to chat about what's on your screen. So, go ahead and ask me anything about the web page you're looking at. I'm here to help.
Can you tell me about the 3 offers I'm seeing on my screen right now?
Sure. The first offer is a $2 Quick Start bundle, which includes a set of top-rated assets for game development at a special price of just $2. The second one is the Publisher of the Week offer, where you can save 50% on assets and even get a free gift. Lastly, there's a June special offer, which gives you an extra 10% off on orders over $50 using a specific code at checkout. Sounds like some tempting deals for game devs, huh?
Okay, so where would I click to get the free gift you mentioned?
To get the free gift, you should click on the second offer, Publisher of the Week, and even get a free gift as an add-on. It's likely that the free gift is available when you take advantage of this particular deal. Go ahead and check it out.
Okay, so where is the code that I should copy to get my free gift?
You'll find the code you need to enter at checkout right here, BK25. Pop that into the coupon section and the HD fruits and vegetables asset should be yours for free.
So another cool thing this allows us to do is if we switch to a different page, the Copilot AI can still continue running. Like, we don't need to restart it for each page we go to.
Absolutely. I can continue our conversation seamlessly as you browse through different pages. No need to restart. Just let me know what you'd like to chat about next.
So can you tell me about the tech stack used in this GitHub repo?
Yeah, sure. This GitHub repo, TikTok Live Whispers, utilizes a modern tech stack. For the back end, it's built with Node.js and Express.js, using a package called TikTok Live Connector to interface with TikTok Live. For the front end, it's using React with TypeScript and Vite for development tooling. They use server-sent events, SSE, to stream data efficiently from server to client. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, so I just ended that. And yeah, you can see how this would be really useful when it comes to actual Windows. Well, for now it is useful as well in the browser. But when this feature comes to Windows itself, it's going to be really cool to use it when you're working with some complex software that has a lot of buttons on it and stuff. Especially for older people who may get confused by complex interfaces. And yeah, that highlight feature really comes in handy because it will save you time for looking for a specific button or text that it may be talking about. Just like it told us here, it highlighted the code that we needed to copy. Yeah, I think I'll give this tool a 10 out of 10. Maybe it could do with adding more features other than just the highlighting. Perhaps it could click on stuff for us, but I guess that wouldn't work out well, especially when we're using it on Windows. We wouldn't want it to click on all of these buttons here. So yeah, that's been GitHub Copilot Vision. Okay, so now let's review Copilot Vision, which is on the desktop here. This will just be a quick review because there's only 2 features here. Basically the same thing as the web version, but this one works on desktop. So I'm going to hit the Vision here, share screen with Copilot. And yeah, it's asking me if I want to share the apps. So basically it can see your screen, but you have to give it permission to see what apps are open right now. So I'm going to do that.
Hey Theo, good morning. I see you're exploring some files related to React in your file explorer. What's on your mind this morning?
Yeah, so can you tell me about the different files that you see here, or folders?
Sure, Theo. I see folders named like React Apps, Code With Me, and Dojo Blog. These could be projects or resources related to your development work. There's also Superbase Tutorial for Beginners Starter, which sounds like a project folder for learning Superbase. Let me know if you'd like to dive into any specific one.
So I made a folder for testing a tool called Code, and I'm thinking of deleting it. Can you find that folder for me?
Sure, Theo. The Code test folder is the 3rd one listed. Deleting it in File Explorer can be done by right-clicking and selecting Delete, or by selecting it and pressing the Delete key on your keyboard. Ready to go ahead?
Can you highlight it for me? I can't see the folder.
Sorry, I can't directly highlight it for you, but it's between the Dojo Blog and Playground folders. Look for Code test with the date modified as 2025-7-12.
Okay, so is this the correct one?
Yes, that's the Code test folder you're looking at. Ready to delete it?
Is this the correct one?
Yep, that's the correct Code test folder. You can go ahead and delete it if you're ready.
So I should delete this one that I've clicked on right now.
That's the right one, Theo. Go ahead and right-click on it and choose Delete, or just press the Delete key on your keyboard.
Okay, so I've deleted the folder. Can you check if it's still there?
I see the Code test folder is no longer in the list, so it looks like you've successfully deleted it. Nicely done.
Okay, so that's Copilot Vision. I didn't like it that much. As you saw while I was asking it questions, I selected the wrong folder here on purpose, and it told me that that was the correct folder to delete. Also, from reading the documentation on the website, I did read that it was supposed to be able to highlight stuff for you, so I'm not sure if they just haven't added that in yet or not. Or maybe there's some setting I'm supposed to set up here. But yeah, it's not that good. It can read what's on your screen, but as you saw, if I select the wrong folder and ask it if that's the one I should delete, it said yes. So maybe it's not such a good tool after all. After a few updates, though, it will probably be usable. But for right now, it's not really that useful, and it's actually bad. And yeah, I'll give it maybe a 3 out of 10. And those 3 points are just coming because it's cool that it can look at your screen. But yeah, this has been my review of 3 different AI tools, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.